friends, this is Shelley from Koala Knits, and in this tutorial we're going to make a bonfire beanie. Very quick and easy to make, and just such a nice item to have on hand for a gift or for yourself or for what have you. It's for in your craft sales. It's just a wonderful item, a staple item for us knitters. So let's bring our last white needle and our first black needle in line with our yarn guide. If you watch any of my tutorials, you'll know that I color that one, the red marker that's in between those two with a black permanent felt marker, so I can see it coming around all the time. Okay, we're going to take our yarn, we're going to feed it behind that first black needle, in front of the next, in front and behind, all the way around, doing a long tail cast on. I am using Knacks Super Value yarn in color Mulberry. Beautiful color, I just love this color. Okay, when I get halfway around, I generally set my counter to 0 so that I'm ready to go when I get to the beginning there. Okay, almost at the end because I see that black marker coming around. I'm going to put my working yarn in my yarn guide and I'm going to start cranking. Okay, my machine has been giving me a little bit of trouble, so I am going to go really slow on my first couple of rounds. It has been tucking yarn left, right, and center, and I'm just thinking it's because it's dry in my house again. I'm not sure. I'm hoping that it doesn't give me lots of problems with this particular yarn. But we're going to keep going. So far, so good. So I'm not putting barely any tension on my working yarn at the back. I'm just holding it very, very lightly. Okay, and even speed as I go around and around and around. And we're going to go around for 110 rows. So when I get to about 55 or 60, I'll pop back on and I'll show you what I do with my project. Okay, so keep knitting until you get to about 55 or 60 rows, and I'll meet you back. Okay, I'm on row 60 and my project is getting close to my table. You'll see a hole in the bottom here. It's a smaller hole than my Addi King because this is usually the side where I put my 22 needle Addi, and this big one is on the other side of the table. But I have that. I have my Sentro 40 needle on the other side of the table right now, so I just rather than remove that because I'm going to use that one next for a project that I'm working on, I just put it on this side. So that's what this hole is. So if you have a small Addi or a small Sentro and you need your project, when you make a longer tube, you need it to go somewhere, put a hole, get your husband or do it yourself and put a hole in your table there and then sand it down so it doesn't snag any of your work, and it just works wonders for me. I love it. Okay, so I'm on row 60 and this yarn is just working amazing in my machine. So I'm going to just pick it up and I'm going to roll it into a donut. That gives it even tension around the barrel here, so that when I keep going, my stitches will all be nice and uniform, and it helps it with the tension on the rows so that it doesn't fall off your little red needles there and teeth there and have a tucked stitch. So anyways, I'm on row 60. We're going to go to row 110. Now this bonfire beanie is a unisex beanie. Of course, it's for men and for women, and for boys and for girls. But I find with 110 rows, it's perfect for an older teen, middle teen, adult woman, and adult man. It's the perfect size. It fits all those head sizes. So I just find 110 rows for bonfire beanies are my most common number of rows that I will use. Okay. So I'm at 71, gonna work that up to 110, and then we'll do our long tail cast off and we'll finish it up. Okay, I'm on 109, I'm gonna finish up that row, and when it clicks, it'll go on to 110, and I'm gonna finish up that row. And this yarn worked absolutely beautifully in my machine. I couldn't have asked for it to be better, so I'm very happy about that. I'm going to cut off a long tail, and we're going to do a long tail cast off. So we're going to put your yarn in between your last white and your first black needle. Go ahead and grab your darning needle that you're going to use to remove your stitches. If you use the red one that came with your machine, or whichever is your favorite needle, these little metal ones with the plastic hoop are my favorite ones. And we're going to cast off. Okay, I always take 3 or 4, maybe even 5 off individually before I start doing a number at a time, because if it falls off these little red teeth and you miss it, then you get a drop stitch and you have to go in and fix it after. So I just take my time and do it this way, and then I usually don't ever get a drop stitch by taking my work off. Okay, so we're gonna go around. I can tell you right now, my oldest daughter, who is 29, is going to want to steal this beanie because she's gonna love the color. So next time I go visit her, I'll take it to her. But it's just a beautiful color. It's very rich looking. Matter of fact, my youngest daughter's gonna feel the same, so I'm gonna have to make 2 of these and take them to the girls. So that's what I love about these machines. You can make so many nice gifts so quickly, and it just gives you such joy when you can give your work away to someone and you know they're gonna just love it, right? And these Bonfire Beanies, as well as the Brim Beanies, or anything that you make, but I find that that the beanies are my #1 seller. In the winter anyways, which you'll probably say the same thing. You can't sell too many of them. People are loving them. So especially out here in Winnipeg area, Manitoba, where we get it, where it's so cold. Gotta have something warm on your head and your ears. So here we go, 45 and 46. We've got that off. We've got our nice donut there. And now we're going to unroll our donut, and we're going to stretch it in every direction so that we can even out our stitches. See, when it comes off, the stitches aren't quite as nice as when you pull it. When you pull it in every direction, it just lines those stitches all up, and it becomes even more soft than it already is. So go ahead, unroll your donut and stretch it out, and then I'll meet you back for closure. Wasn't that a fast and fun project? You know, you can just get it done so quickly. It's just so satisfying. You can whip up a number of them in no time. Okay, so we're going to, now we've got it all stretched out and ready to close up the end. So grab one end and start pulling on your yarn tail. I usually cut it off. Once I pull it a bit, I cut it off, because why work with a really long tail and have it get in your way when you don't have to, right? So I'm going to thread my needle. And now that I've got this pulled, I just sort of smooth it out, and I go underneath all those stitches and reinforce it. For an adult beanie, I generally go around twice, because adults are harder on their beanies. Baby, I go around once, and toddler, but for an adult, I usually go around twice. I would never want that end to come loose and to break, because then the hat will unravel and then it's no good for them anymore. So going around twice will just ensure that it's nice and secure there, okay? So that's once. And you don't have to worry about missing. If you miss a couple of the stitches there, that's okay. You just want to get it going around, okay? So there we go. And that's twice. So now that I've got that done, I'm going to just grab a couple stitches there. I'm going to tie a knot, and I do it twice, a double knot there, just to hold that secure. Then I'm going to take that yarn tail, I'm going to insert it into that little hole at the very top and into the inside of my project, okay? And I'm going to pull it through. Get that knot to come inside of there. Then while I've got that in my hand, I'm going to pull that whole section out to the other side. And then from there, we want to make sure that that tail that you just finished with is outside of your work, and you're going to grab the tail from the other end and you're going to pull that. Again, making sure that this stays on the outside because you need it. After we close up this end, you're going to need that. So just unfold that, pull on it very lightly. You don't want to pull too tight. Don't use too much strength on this, because if you pull it too tight and it breaks, you might as well start your whole hat over again because you won't have enough yarn in there to salvage it so very easily. So okay, so we're going to close up that end just the exact same way that we did the other end. And folks, that's just about it. We're almost done. You can add a pom-pom to this if you want. That looks great. Bonfire beanies, I don't generally add a pom-pom to. My brimmed beanies, I will add a pom-pom to, but the bonfire beanies, I don't generally add a pom-pom to those. Okay, so I'm gonna go around one more time. I think I've gone around 1.5 times, so I'm just gonna go around just a little bit here. Okay, then I'm going to take that yarn needle off, and I'm going to take the first yarn tail that I had, pull it up so that I have both ends of my project really tightly close together, okay? And when you tie it, it's gonna snug it up even more. But again, do short, gentle pulls on that, because honestly, it will break so easily, and you just don't want that to happen. So, okay, I'm gonna tie 3 knots in that. Then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to thread my needle again, and I'm going to hide that down in between the 2 layers. Put my hand under into my hat, because then I can get it out a little bit. But oops, lost it. Okay. If you find that this is a bit big, if you're finding it's just a little too slouchy for you, if you go down to 105 stitches for a smaller head, if you like. 110 for the average head, 105 for a smaller head, and that will be perfect. And here we go. We've got our bonfire beanie, beautifully done, wonderfully made, and ready to wear or to gift or to sell. These are just wonderful, wonderful little beanies, and I just love them. I hope that you do too, and that you enjoyed this tutorial. And if you find that 110 rows is just a little bit too big for you, then go down to 105. The concept is still the same. So happy knitting, everyone. Take care and have a wonderful day.